Okay, yesterday in the video, the live that I did, I was looking through the comments and I got a really good question that I wanted to address in a video. And the question was kind of along the lines of, how do you plan when you're with a group or with the holidays coming in this instance, she asked when I was in Italy, how did I kind of be able to coordinate my hunger with those people that were in my group's hunger, right? So how did you know when to eat, or what happens if you ate before other people were hungry, or what happens if you ate and then everyone was hungry and you weren't hungry? And there's a lot of kind of worry in this question, and it sounded like a few other people had this same concern or question. So obviously when you're in recovery, you're not trying to match, other people's hunger, because your hunger is going to be far greater probably than anybody that you know or anyone you're going to be around during the holidays. So just kind of make that assumption that your goal isn't to be matching being hungry when other people are hungry. Okay, if you're in recovery. I know that sounds simple, but truly, like, just plan on eating much more than everybody around you, all your friends and family. If you're in recovery, just plan on that happening, because it's very likely that you're going to be sitting at the table, people will be finished eating, and you're just getting started, right? In your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, I could eat for another hour straight, all of this food, and everyone's done. Keep eating. Allow yourself to honor that hunger. Okay, so that's if you're in recovery. I think her more specific question, though, is like in my instance where I was in Italy, someone who is recovered, you're with a group of 12 people. How are you all aligning your hunger perfectly so that you're eating your meals all together? And the thought hadn't even crossed my mind going into this trip or while I was on the trip, trying to think through, well, should I eat now? But then what if we eat later? What if I eat this and then they want to eat now? I didn't have any of those thoughts. So it was actually like a very interesting question to ask, because when you asked it, I was like, oh, I could imagine how this would have stressed the crap out of me going on a vacation with a group of people, trying to time my hunger with theirs. I guess the answer is, when you're not in a deficit anymore and you're out of that scarcity mindset and you've been there for a while and you feel really just kind of like comfortable with listening to your hunger and it's not a stressful situation, I just ate when the group ate. And if I got hungry before the group was wanting to eat, then I would grab a snack. Luckily in Italy and the places we were at, every corner had a bakery or a cafe or something I could run in and grab a snack. And I always had things in my bag. We all had backpacks, that we carried around. And I always just had stuff in there. So if I got hungry, I don't remember having the thought, ooh, should I have this snack now? What if we have a meal soon? I just would eat the snack, right? Or I'd just go grab a snack. So I wasn't like planning ahead. And I think that's how normal people, it feels normal to me. I'm imagining that's how normal people operate too. It seems as though people in my group too would just freely grab snacks when they wanted. And usually when it was mealtime, it was like whoever got hungry first would be like, hey, let's go get lunch, or when are we getting dinner, And if I wasn't hungry, let's say someone said, let's get dinner, and I had just had, I don't know, some big snack an hour ago and I just wasn't feeling that hungry, I wasn't like panicking or like, oh my gosh, I guess I wasn't even really thinking. I guess I just sat down and looked at the menu and looked for what looked good. Maybe that was something that wasn't as heavy or filling. I don't know. I don't go through that, okay, I had a snack an hour ago, so I better have something lighter. It's not a deliberate thought process like that. And I know that is hard to fathom or understand when you're still in that scarcity mindset, when you're still in the process of recovering and healing your body and your mind, and working on that relationship with trusting your hunger, your mental and physical hunger. I know that seems like a whole nother lifetime away, but it really isn't. Get yourself out of a deficit. Rewire all of your fears around food. And then eating isn't going to be the most important thing that happens in your day, right? I wasn't disappointed and angry if the group wanted to eat before I was hungry or ready to eat. It was just like, all right, let's get dinner. And then what are we doing after dinner? Your world doesn't revolve around it anymore, because your body isn't so incredibly paranoid about getting enough food in, okay? And it's not this big, grand, huge event. Although I did talk about this in my video. In Italy, the meals, and maybe if you're from Italy and you're like, Becky, that's not how it is at all. As a tourist going there, that was my perception. I could be wrong. But the cities that we were in, the areas we were in, the meals were very drawn out. It was like a big, long event. But I don't necessarily feel that it was because they're like so obsessed with food. I felt like it was more of a lifestyle for them. It was more of a, let's just like slow down, relax, rewind, enjoy one another's company. And that part I absolutely loved about being in Italy. So anyways, hopefully, I don't know if I gave any like tools or advice in this other than get yourself recovered. Get yourself out of a deficit. The mere fact that you're asking that question is very much coming from a scarcity mindset. The fact that you're paranoid and worried in the future that, you know, if you just eat freely now and you're supposed to eat freely forever, how will you ever be able to align your hunger with what other people around you? I think a lot of that question stems from fear of you being afraid that you're going to eat too much, right? And I remember this completely. When I was still in my eating disorder, I was terrified of eating anything without knowing the exact plan for the day if I was on a vacation or with a group of people. I needed to know exactly if anything came my way that I wasn't expecting, I couldn't handle it. And just the mere thought of anything coming my way, as far as food goes, that I wasn't expecting would throw me over to the point where, like it sounds like you're doing, I would be super, super cautious and careful, which ended up being restriction, right? I would be restricting because I didn't know, what if, you know, Aunt so-and-so brought that dessert that I love and no one told me that she was bringing it. I better not have lunch today because of that dinner we might have, you know, Thanksgiving night, just in case she brings that, right? And then I've said this many times, restriction leads to more restriction. So when you find yourself trying to plan ahead or think through, you know, or worry that you might not be hungry and other people are eating, eat something. Eat something right in that moment because you're still in a deficit. Your body still doesn't feel safe and secure in knowing that you're going to give it food whenever it needs it, okay? And it also means that you're still holding food very much on a pedestal, and then it has to be this perfect situation before you're allowed to eat. And that's just not real life. Sometimes you eat when you're not that hungry, right? Sometimes you're just kind of like, I guess everyone else is eating, so let's just eat. Your body figures it out, though. It'll balance it out without you even having to think about it. All right, hopefully this helps. Okay, have a good day. Bye.